Hi everyone, it's me, Darlene. Guess what I'm about to do? Yes, I am finally going to get back to embellishing the quilt block party quilt blocks. It's a mouthful. Once upon a time, I had a series called the Quilt Block Party. Remember that series? I know a lot of you will remember it. I made 20 blocks that were worked on a foundation, and each one was its very own video. I started that series in, I believe it was February of 2017, and I ended it maybe toward the end of May of 2017. Then I wanted to take each block and embellish them. And I started that either June or July of 2017. And I only did 4, and it took me quite a while, like maybe, several weeks. I'll tell you why in a minute. But what I was doing was taking the blocks and then embellishing them. Like this one got some buttons and lace. This one got some lace added and some buttons. So just things like that. Then I dropped the ball. And here's the reason why. There's a lot of time that goes into embellishing these blocks. And when I was in the mood to do it, I wasn't necessarily in the mood to record the sewing and to, have to sit and focus and try to complete the block in one day. Battery was dying. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just embellish these guys. And I don't know how the series is going to play out, but I'm going to show you what I've done. I may show you some sewing. I may not. I don't know. I just need to get this project completed so I don't drive myself insane with it. I don't know if I will be putting these blocks together afterwards. I just don't know. Let's just get them embellished and then we'll move on from there. I think when I was embellishing them before, I was trying to do groups of 5. I don't really know what I did last summer with the embellishing part for videos, and I'm certainly not going back to watch them. So like I said, I'm just going to sit and embellish. I don't know, I'm not even going to show you and say this is the one I'm going to work on. Instead, I want to just look at these things, and there might be times that I want to put lace on 3 or 4 at a time, and you know what I mean? I just want to do it, and I will show you after I'm done. Or like I said, if there's something I want to show you while I'm in the process of doing it, I will turn the camera on and show you. At this point, I will come back with something completed. It might be 3 days after I'm recording this intro. I just don't know. But the intro is recorded. I'm going to get busy and try to get motivated to finish this, and I'll be back in just a bit. I will show you that I'm going to start with this block. I will link to this block down below in case you want to see how I made it. And I did want to mention, because everyone asks, and I know it's a lot of videos to watch in the past to see what I was doing, but I was using some wool blend as my foundation, only because I had an entire bolt of it that I knew I'd never use. I did wash and dry it, I do believe, so it's all pre-shrunk, and I just used that for my foundation. I would not recommend that you use that, but you can use fabric that you have on hand that you don't necessarily like, but generally the foundation is just cotton, or muslin is also a very good option. And all these blocks were done crazy quilt style. Okay, this one, remember this one? It's supposed to look like stacked blocks or something. I can't remember what I called it, but it kind of really blended in. I'm just going to take some lace or ribbon or something, and I'm going to go around the shape and just sew something down just to make that shape pop. Some people said it looked a little bit like a wedding cake, and I agree. I think it was supposed to be stacked blocks. But anyway, let me just see what I can do. This is what I ended up doing with this one, and now it really looks like a cake. I did not put lace on the top because that'll get caught in some kind of a seam allowance anyway. I just put some white lace. I did very messy corners, and I'm good with that. And then I just put some red ribbon. I had other colors, but the red seemed to make it pop. I might do more with this, I don't know, but I'm going to move on to another block now. I'm looking at this block now, and I have some of this gold, no, this is silver. It's not stretchy, it's just like some kind of a cord. I think I'm going to just go to the machine, and what I do is I just sew over it with a zigzag, and it captures that. And I'm going to try to just do some kind of snaky pattern. So let's see how I do. I'd love to be able to show you what I'm doing, but I just don't have a good camera set up for this. But what I'm doing is I just started on this silver cord, and it kind of like made it ugly there, but maybe I can put a button or something there. And then I just lay it down, and I just try to keep the cord in the center, and then I just zigzag. I'm trying to do this and show you at the same time. But you can see that I can just shape the cord any way that I want, and I just follow along. And it's okay if the thread hits the cord, and it's also okay if it doesn't. It just holds it down, and it's really cool. Also, I'm using a clear nylon thread, so I don't have to keep changing colors. It's just nylon thread like this. But in the bobbin, I'm just using regular thread, and it's working out fine. This is incredibly cool. I mean, it looks like liquid silver or something was melted and just drizzled on there. I absolutely love this. I actually did this before on a quilt I made a long time ago when I was just playing with crazy quilting, and I had like put some pieces of faux fur on blocks, and then I went around those blocks with this, but in gold, and it was beautiful. So we have to revisit this. I have this both in silver and gold, and I think black and white also. So we will be doing this again at some point, but I absolutely love this. And again, I may put more on this. I would like to put a button or something there where it starts and stops, but I think for now I'm just going to move on to something else. I'm going to work on one more a little bit, and then I guess I'm going to upload this video. I like that I'm just doing a little bit at a time, and that I'm not doing it all, having to complete each block, so I'm liking this. Okay, this block. I'm going to do something funkified here in the center, and then we don't know what I'll do around there, but this is the one I'm working on now. So here's my bright idea for this block. I have all these fabrics still in a basket, all the fabrics that I used for that particular series. I pulled a fabric, I believe I got them all. One of everything that shows in here is here, and I'm going to make a little crumb block and stick that in the center of the block. And I'm just going to do it my usual way. Look, I have a nice strip here, and I'm going to, put some of the pieces on here, and I'm just going to start with big pieces and cut them down until it looks like I had little tiny pieces to start with. But you can see my pieces are all big, and I'm not going to cut those into little tiny pieces. I sew them together big, like you can see in my crumb quilting adventure. I will link to that down below, and also to this series, the quilt block series, if I haven't said that yet. And I'm going to make something big, trim it, and whatever's left will go into my crumb box. I changed my setting. I don't know if this is better, but I just wanted to remind you guys, for those of you who don't feel like going to watch my whole crumb quilting series, how I make things look like they started out with tiny pieces. Now, even this was bigger pieces, but then I trimmed, and if I have something this size to work with, I'm a happy camper. Now, I'm going to just add this there. So right sides together, and I'm going to sew. Now I want to add something here and make that little gingham piece just look really tiny. So I have another straight piece here, and I'm going to add it like there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the edge fairly close to here. So like maybe here. Then when I stitch and open that, this little blue line is going to be very narrow. And not only is it narrow, but it's wonky. I love that. Now I'm going to add something. I'm not going to trim this yet. I'm going to add this. And I want to keep this kind of narrow because I want this block to look like it has just all tiny pieces in it. So I want it about there. So I'm going to flip it and stitch it there. So now I have this attached, But you can see we have like a lot of fabric left over here, so I'm going to go ahead and just trim that whole piece off. So now this has been trimmed, and this is what I have. Now I'm going to take this guy, and which way do I want to do it? I'm going to trim this orange, and I'll be right back. So I made the orange narrow, but I'm okay with that because it's still a fairly decent sized block. And I want to add that, let's see, like this here. And that keeps everything happening inside there is still little. Maybe let's go out a little bit, like that. Ooh, I like that. So I'm going to flip it, and I'm going to sew just here, and I know I will catch the orange. So now I have this, and once again, I have to go trim that stuff off. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead and trim here, and then I'll have a nice little block started. And there we have a block that looks like we started with all kinds of tiny pieces, but we know we didn't. I'm going to just keep working on this until it's big enough to put in the center of that quilt block. Here's my little crumb block. I made it more rectangular than square. I'm good with that. I'm going to be sewing that down, and I'm going to be lining it with gold ribbon because I want to. I did a terrible job. It's so crooked. It even bunched up here. I'm okay with that. It's going to look wonky, and I like wonky. And this is what the center of that one looks like. And I like that it's not perfect. I really do. And I am exhausted now and very hot from being under the lights. I've actually been at this for a long time. It doesn't look like it, but I was. So I'm going to stop now and upload this. Do subscribe so you can see what I do with the other blocks. I will get this done. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.